Welcome everyone to the Azure Community Conference. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on your time zone. We would like to thank our sponsors, Microsoft and DevOps partners, for sponsoring this conference, and also the partners from the communities as well. So today I will be talking about how building intelligent bots using Microsoft Bot Framework and cognitive services. Who am I? My name is Prashant G. Bhoyar. I was born and raised in India. I came to United States back in 2007 for studies. I'm University of Maryland College Park alumni. I co-authored a book, PowerShell for Office 65. I also acted as a technical reviewer for the book Pro SharePoint 2013 Administration. I am from Washington D.C. area of United States, and pre-COVID-19 days, we used to organize a lot of in-person conferences in the Washington D.C. area, and most of the conferences used to focus on AI, machine learning, big data, and Microsoft 365 platform. Post COVID-19 pandemic, we have converted all our conferences to online only. So if you are interested joining us, please connect with us via meetup.com. We have three meetups. One is on AI machine learning, second one is on Microsoft 65, and third one is on SQL. And we recently organized a global Azure Data and AI Fest, and we are in November. And the next one is coming up in the first week of February. So if you are interested, definitely check us out on meetup.com. I am recipient of Antarctic Service Medal, and since 2017, I'm also recipient of Microsoft MVP Award. Those of you who are not familiar with MVP Award, so I don't work for Microsoft. It's just the additional recognition that Microsoft gives out to the folks who does technical contributions in various areas. And your technical contributions can be in the form of writing blog posts, creating training videos, or answering people's questions on various forums, or providing direct feedback to the Microsoft product group. This award is valid for only 12 months, and after every 12 months, you have to apply, you have to submit your contribution and apply for renewal. If your contributions are good enough, then Microsoft will reward you for additional 12 months. So for first couple of 2 years, I was MVP in SharePoint or Office 65 apps and services, and since 2019, I changed my category to AI. Right now, I work as senior solution architect with a company called Witham. We are predominantly East Coast based company. We have offices throughout the East Coast of USA, and recently we opened office in California and also in Bangalore, India as well. I currently focus on intelligent business process automation, where I work on variety of Microsoft services like Azure, Microsoft 65, SharePoint, Microsoft Teams, Azure AI, bots, and Power Platform products as well. And as I mentioned, I work in Witham's Washington DC area, the Washington DC office. This is the quick information about our company. We have two Microsoft MVPs on the staff. We have done 100 plus cloud deployments, and we have 50 consultants dedicated to Microsoft ecosystem only. And we are providing services in Microsoft ecosystem from last 17 years. And we always look for talented folks. So if you are interested, or if you're in job market, please reach us out. And these are some of the capabilities that we have in the group that I work. So if you're interested joining us for the future event, these are the links. You can go and join us on meetup.com to get the latest updates. So this is going to be the agenda for this session. We will talk about why bots. Then we'll talk about what is Microsoft Bot Framework, what is Azure Bot Service, how to get started, what is Microsoft Cognitive Services. We'll have lots of demos, key takeaways, and Q&A. Feel free to ask questions at any time, and I will happy to answer those questions. So before we actually jump into the bots, let's talk about why we need to invest our time in learning about AI and bots. I personally think because of all the advancement that are happening in the computation, the tech industry in general, focusing on using AI in business application. You may be hearing a lot of news or hype around driverless car or autonomous car because of all the advancement that has happened in the technology, we can now have driverless car or autonomous car. I personally think the AI ML space is at the same level when mobile development was when iPhone 1 was launched. If you go back 13 years, that is 2007, when Apple announced iPhone 1, very few companies were writing applications for mobile device that time. Fast forward 13 years, pretty much all the companies or all the product development companies write applications that work on mobile device first, and if they have surplus fund, then they make sure their application work on desktop. So same thing will happen in next 2 3 years. The AI and machine learning will be mainstream. That means if I am a project sponsor for an enterprise project, or if I am launching a new product, I want to make sure the product or the service is using AI and ML in the backend. Another key stats I would like to highlight, and these stats are pretty old. These stats are from 2017 holiday season of United States, which is roughly from November till December. During that holiday season, Amazon sold millions of Alexa devices. Now, Alexa is nothing but a voice-based bot. Similarly, there are other bots available from Google. It's Google Home. From Microsoft, it's Cortana. From IBM, it's Watson. So the trend we have seen in the industry is if people get comfortable with some with a device in their personal life, sooner or later those kind of devices you will find in enterprises as well. Now smartphone are really good example where iPhone got really popular with people. They started using for their personal lives, and sooner or later the iPhones and the Androids entered the enterprises as well. So if you join a company now, whether it's a non-profit or a commercial organization, they expect you to carry a smartphone and they expect you to get your job done using the smartphone. So same thing will happen with the devices like Alexa or Google Home. If millions and millions of people get comfortable using this kind of devices at home, then sooner or later you will find this kind of devices sitting on your work desk, and you as IT pro or you as a developer or you as an information worker then expect to get to use these devices to get your work done. Another key thing is you don't need to be a data scientist to use AI and machine learning in your application. All these big corporations like Microsoft, Google, IBM, Amazon, what they have done is they have launched something called AI as a services, which we can use in our application to build intelligent application. And while using AI as a services, you don't need to understand the data science or machine learning part that is behind it. The analogy I would like to give you here is JavaScript frameworks. If you have done any kind of web development, then you may have heard about popular JavaScript frameworks like Angular or React. To use this framework in your application, you don't need to know how this framework got built from the ground up. All you need to know is how to use this framework and build applications. So same thing goes with this AI as a services, where you just need to know how to use these services to write intelligent application. You don't necessarily need to know how these services got built up from ground up. Under AI as a services from Microsoft, we have cognitive services. From IBM, we have IBM Watson. Under Google, we also have Google AI APIs. Similar services are available from Amazon as well. So let's talk about AI, because setting your level of expectation when talking about AI is very, very important. But because whenever you talk about AI, suddenly people start thinking about the sci-fi movies where the machines are so powerful they are invading other planets, or they are thinking about invading Earth, or they are thinking about destroying other planets. So this is the basic definition or very simple definition of AI. And again, this definition is from AI researcher from Google. It's the AI is nothing but the effort to automate intellectual tasks normally performed by humans. Now, when it comes to AI, we can categorize AI into three categories. One is the strong AI, where machines are so powerful they can invade another planets, they can even travel across galaxies. Now, the strong AI right now only exists in science fiction movies and sci-fi, science fiction novels and sci-fi movies. The second category is artificial general intelligence, where machines are so powerful that they can perform very complicated tasks which are typically very difficult for an average human being. The example I can give you on this one is, if you have seen Marvel Comics Iron Man franchise, the main character there, Tony Stark, has a personal assistant called Jarvis. And Jarvis is very intelligent. He can perform a lot of complicated tasks which are typically very difficult for an average human being. Again, AGI only exists right now in science fiction movies and in novels. Where we are right now is we are having weak AI, where we have specialized services for specialized tasks. Now, one of the services that you will be seeing on the screen right now is I am using a text to speech service, which is available as part of Microsoft PowerPoint, where whatever I'm speaking is getting translated real time into English. And while doing that, I can also set a different language. That means even if I'm speaking in English, this text to speech can translate that to other supported languages like French, Spanish, Hindi, or other Indian languages as well. So we are right now at weak AI, and we have specialized services for specialized tasks. And when it comes to AI, these are all different terminologies or different concept that you will be hearing, which is machine learning, natural language processing, which get used heavily in the bots, then robotics, vision. So all these things are actually part of AI in general. So this is the mission statement from Microsoft, where they want to make sure AI and data science is accessible to every enterprise, data scientist and developer, information worker, consumer, devices anywhere in the world. And they are really working hard towards this mission statement. And some of the products and services that are coming out of from Microsoft actually aligns with this mission statement. When it comes to AI, Microsoft AI's offerings are distributed mostly under Azure AI. There are some AI offerings available under Microsoft Power Platform as well as Microsoft 365 as well. But the core of Microsoft AI is under Azure AI, where under Apps and Agent, we have Azure Bot Service and Azure Cognitive Services. Under Knowledge Mining, we have Azure Cognitive Search. And under Machine Learning, we have Azure Databricks, Azure Machine Learning, and Azure AI Infrastructure. And if you are interested learning more about the Microsoft AI, then you can definitely go through these various links. Example, if you're interested in cognitive services, you can go to azure.com/cognitive. If you're interested in bots, you can go to this link. There are really good tutorials available on aischool.microsoft.com, and also really good tutorials available on machine learning and deep learning at aka.ms/ms deep learning. There is also a really good show on Channel 9 called AI Show as well. And along with that, you can also go through a lot of good tutorials, not only from Microsoft, but other big corporations and prestigious universities on edx.org or coursera.org as well. So if you're like me, I had this dilemma 2 or 3 years before, when I wanted to get into Microsoft AI platform, but I just didn't know where to start because I didn't have any background in machine learning or in data science. So if you're like me, then you can follow this simple flowchart. Is depending on what you would like to do, there are various products and services available in Microsoft ecosystem. So the first question is whether you would like to build your own machine learning model or whether you would like to consume pre-trained model. If you would like to build your own, then Azure Machine Learning is for you. If you would like to consume whatever is out there, then Microsoft Cognitive Services and bots are for you. Now let's talk about why we need to create a bot. So bots gives you more natural and human computer interaction. It helps you to automate a lot of repetitive tasks, and in the end, it helps you to free up the resources. Bots are available all the time, and bots are available wherever you are. That means we can access bot on web, on mobile devices, on desktop, while driving the cars as well. And if the implementation of the bots done right, then bots adapt to the user depending on the circumstances. Bots are appealing and efficient and easy and very natural. And if the implementation is done right, then it simplifies the user interface as well. And if you go with Microsoft Bot Framework to create bots, then the bot supports multiple channel. Now the channels that are getting the term channel that get used in the terms of bots is different as compared to the channels that get used in the context of Microsoft Teams. Now channels in the context of bots means the various products or devices where you can deploy bots. So if you go with Microsoft Bot Framework, you need to create your bot once, and you can deploy the same bot to various channels like Microsoft Teams, Skype, Facebook, Twilio, Cake, Direct Line as a web chat, and the list is really big to mention all the supported channels here. And also one of the thing with bot is the bot may help you to connect with the young users. So there are various industries, studies available in the industry where younger generation or younger folks prefer to interact with bot as compared to calling or interacting with the actual human agent whenever they have any service related issue, or they need any help. So we are already familiar with different kind of bots in our personal life. If you are a customer of a major financial institution like HSBC or Citigroup or Bank of America, and if you call their customer support number, chances are the first response from those institutions will be from a voice-based bot, and that bot will ask you some questions, and depending on your answers, it may give you some additional information, or it may connect you to the human agent. And we are pretty comfortable using working with this kind of bots, and now slowly the bots started entering into enterprises as well, where a lot of government agencies and a lot of big organizations started rolling out bots for their help desk. So if you are interested in implementing bots in your organization, and if you are a big Microsoft shop, then these are the two options. Then we have these options available in Microsoft ecosystem. Under software as a service, we have something called Power Virtual Agents. It provides a no-code experience for bot development. It's ideal for business users and domain expert to easily build a bot. And this is the link you can go where you can start creating bots using Power Virtual Agents. You can sign up for free to begin with, and if you like, then you can convert your license to a paid one. Under platform as a service, we have Microsoft Bot Framework. It's an open source SDK and tools, and its purpose it's built for the bot development, and it's ideal for developers who wants to build customized bots, and everything is open source. You can find out the information on GitHub. And right now Microsoft Bot Framework SDK supports 4 major languages: C#, Node.js, Python, and Java. However, one caveat you have to keep in mind is if you are planning to deploy your bots to Microsoft Azure using Azure Bot Service, then right now Azure Bot Service only supports C# and Node.js. That means if you are building a bot using Microsoft Bot Framework using Java or Python, you cannot use Azure Bot Service to host that bot. There is another tool which is again open source called Microsoft Bot Framework Composer. It's an open source visual authoring canvas for developers to build bots. It is available as a desktop application and as a web-based component as well. So it has a visual editing canvas for conversation flows. It has in-context editing for natural language understanding. It has tools to train, test, and manage natural understandings and Q&A components. And it has a language generation and templating system as well. It has a ready-to-use bot runtime executable as well. And you can find more information about Bot Framework Composer by going to GitHub as well. There is recently Microsoft announced an interesting offering. Not many people know about it. The name of this offering called Microsoft Dataverse for Teams. It's basically nothing but a low-code data platform for Microsoft Teams. And Dataverse is a new name for a common data service, which is a data service available under Microsoft Power Platform and Dynamics 365. So Microsoft announced a new lighter version of that with the brand name as Microsoft Data Serve for Team. It's only available for Microsoft Team, and it supports to build low-code and no-code apps, flows, and most importantly, chatbots for and within Teams. That means if I'm using Microsoft Dataverse for Team, I can create the apps, I can create the flows, and I can also create the chatbots. However, those chatbots, those flows, and those apps will only run within the Teams client or Teams UI. And one of the key thing about this is as far as the licensing is concerned, everything is covered as far as the Teams license. That means even though Power Virtual Agents are a paid product, you need to subscribe for it to use it. If you use Microsoft Dataverse for Team, and if you create a chatbot using Power Virtual Agent within a team, the license for it is already covered as part of your Microsoft Teams license. That means you don't have to pay anything additional to use the chatbots within Microsoft Teams. So that's a really interesting caveat there. So I will definitely recommend if you are a user of Microsoft Team, or if your organization is using Microsoft Team, then definitely check out the Power Virtual Agent, even if you are not a developer, because you basically get that for free within Microsoft Teams. And you can find more information about this at this particular link from Microsoft. So when it comes to the Microsoft bots in Microsoft ecosystem, you can arrange the bots in this pyramid, where the basic core is Microsoft Bot Framework, and that is available for developers. And then Microsoft also built a new product on the top of it called Power Virtual Agent, which basically under the hood still uses Microsoft Bot Framework, Azure Bot Service, and various Microsoft Cognitive Services. So Power Virtual Agent is for business users. Microsoft Bot Framework is for developers, and we can integrate Power Virtual Agents and custom bots built using Microsoft Bot Framework, using something called Bot Framework skills. So if you already have a custom bot built using Microsoft Bot Framework, you can deploy those as a Bot Framework skills. And once you deploy those as a Bot Framework skills, you can then call them from Power Virtual Agent. So there is a really good integration story available right now between Power Virtual Agents and Microsoft Bot Framework custom bots. So in the next section, I'll be quickly talking about my personal thoughts when it comes to bots in Microsoft ecosystem. Again, these are my personal thoughts. Your thoughts may be different. So when it comes to the Power Virtual Agents and Microsoft Bot Framework, Power Virtual Agents, it's really easy to create and test the bots. Whereas if you go with Microsoft Bot Framework, it has a steep learning curve. The ideal target audience for the Power Virtual Agents are power users and IT pros. Whereas for Microsoft Bot Framework, to use Microsoft Bot Framework, you need developers. The maintenance and enhancements are easy. Maintenance and enhancements are a little bit cumbersome. One of the key advantage of Microsoft Power Virtual Agents is it uses all the Microsoft AI services under the hood. That means you, as a developer of a bot, you don't need to understand, or you don't need to know what kind of AI services you have to use. The Power Virtual Agent will use that behind the scene. Whereas if you are going with Microsoft Bot Framework, your vanilla bot will not have any kind of AI infusion in it. You have to basically add additional AI services like Lewis, Q&A Maker, Cognitive Services to make your bot intelligent. It has, like, Power Virtual Agent has inbuilt support for analytics, whereas if you go with Microsoft Bot Framework, there is no inbuilt support for analytics available. You have to basically use services like App Insight to add analytics to your bot. This last point is that's where the major difference is between Power Virtual Agents and Microsoft Bot Framework. So Power Virtual Agents are a little bit expensive to begin with. Right now, there are no easy way to manage the cost across the departments. However, with the introduction of Dataverse for Teams, we can get Power Virtual Agent chatbots for free as long as we have a valid Teams license. So that is a really good incentive for you to get started with Power Virtual Agent. If you go with Microsoft Bot Framework, it's really inexpensive to begin with. However, you need to take into account a lot of additional services like where you're going to host the bot. If you're going to host that in Azure, then you have to subscribe to the Azure Bot Service. If you want to have a proper insights, then you need to use something like App Insights. If you want to infuse intelligence in your bot, then you have to use Cognitive Services. So it's really inexpensive to begin with, but you need to also take into factor other costs that will come with this additional services. Still, if you compare the overall cost with all these additional features versus the cost for regular Power Virtual Agent bot, the bot that gets created with Microsoft Bot Framework will be still a little bit cheaper as compared to the Power Virtual Agent. Of course, you need to do a lot of work front in the beginning. Whereas in Power Virtual Agent, you can have a really enterprise grade ready bot within, let's say, matter of hours. Whereas the same, you may need to spend some more time if you go with Microsoft Bot Framework. Now let's talk about what is Microsoft Bot Framework. Microsoft Bot Framework is an open source SDK, and one thing that I want you guys to take home from this particular session is a bot is nothing but a web app with a different kind of user interface. So as long as you have created a web app in your professional life, or you understand how web app work, you pretty much have understanding of how bots work. So just like a web app, a bot needs a host to run. So your bot, your code, custom code will be here, and you will be integrating that custom code with various other line of business system or other Azure services. And then you will be using a connector service, and that bot connector service, using that bot connector service, then you will connect your bot to various channels. Now the channels can be web chat, email, Facebook, and the list is long. Not all the channels are listed here, but out of the box, just like your regular web app, the bots will not be intelligent. If you would like to make your bot intelligent, then you have to integrate your bot with something called Microsoft Cognitive Services. Now again, Microsoft Cognitive Services is one of the AI services you can use. And since both Microsoft Bot Framework and Microsoft Cognitive Services are from the same vendor, which is Microsoft, you will get maximum help, and there is a really good integration story available. But in case if you are not a Microsoft shop, let's say if you are a Google shop, or if you are AWS shop, or you have your own proprietary AI services, you can also infuse those or integrate those with Microsoft Bot Framework bots, and you can still infuse intelligence in your bot. So adding Microsoft Cognitive Services is optional, but you need to add corresponding AI service to make your bot intelligent. So these are the supported channels are there, and the list is really long. Some channels will be premium channels and some will be freely available. So I definitely recommend you to check Azure documentation whenever you're implementing, whenever you're planning to add support for additional channels. So that brings the interesting question. Since Microsoft Bot Framework is open source, and if I use Microsoft Bot Framework, and once the bot is ready to deploy, where can I host the bot? So you have multiple options. The recommended option is Azure Bot Service because that's where you get maximum integration with other Microsoft services. However, it's not necessary to host your bot in Azure. If your organization is using different public cloud, or if your organization is not comfortable deploying stuff to the public clouds, then you can use VMs, and the VMs can be hosted in Azure or any other public cloud, or those VMs can be hosted in on-premise as well. And as I mentioned, you can, since Bot Framework SDK supports C#, Node.js, Java, and Python, you can host bots not only in Windows servers, but you can also host your bots in Linux servers as well. So that means even if you are not a Microsoft shop, you can still use Microsoft Bot Framework and create custom bots, and you can host your own infrastructure. So bot development is fairly new, and this is the typical life cycle that you will be following whenever you are creating a bot. So first thing first, you will be spending a lot of time in planning, where you will be visual designing how the user experience will be, what kind of information or question the bot will ask, and what and depending on the user's answer, what kind of follow-up or follow-up prompt the bot will have. Then you will use something called Bot Builder SDK to create your bot. Again, and if you want to infuse intelligence, you can go with Cognitive Services or any other AI service. There are various templates available. I will definitely recommend you to check the template for virtual assistant from Bot Framework, which is a really nice way to quickly spin up your virtual assistant built on the top of Bot Framework and see how exactly the experience is. Then there is also another good product available from Microsoft Bot Framework team called Emulator, which allows you to test bot locally. And again, emulator is cross-platform, and that means you can test bot not only on Windows machine but on Linux machine as well. To track how the bot is doing, you can add something called application insights. And while publishing the bots, you can use DevOps tools. Again, you can either publish your bot to Azure, or you can publish your bots to your own web host as well. Then you connect your bot to various channels. And the last stage is where you will be spending a majority of the time, where you will be constantly evaluating how your bot is doing, like what kind of questions people are asking and whether the bot is able to answer those or not. And depending on the analytics, then you will be tweaking the bot's user experience. So when it comes to creating custom bots using Microsoft Bot Framework, these are my personal thoughts, like how you can approach this. And again, your experience or your thought process may be different. But what I found is if you are planning to host your bot in Azure Bot Service, then start with Azure Portal, create and deploy your bot over there using Azure Portal, then download the source code from Azure Portal that I'll be showing you the demos, and then add and then implement your customization. Because if you follow this route, then you will by within first few minutes you will have a working bot which is really well integrated with, which is deployed to Azure. That means you don't have to worry about what will happen if I have to deploy this bot again, and a structure will be there for you, and then you just have to add your business logic. If you're not going to use Azure Bot Service to host your bot, then start locally on your machine, test with emulator, implement your customization, and then deploy it to the VMs of your choice. Now, with that, let's jump into demo. So from here onwards, it's all will be demo, and feel free to ask if you have any questions in the chat window. Now let's start the Visual Studio 2019, and what I will be doing is I will be creating a new project. And again, you can either go with Visual Studio or you can go with any other your favorite ID as well. So now what I'll be looking for is EcoBot, and then search for it. And then let's click on it. Let's give it a name. My demo eco bot, and then the location, and then just click create. Again, depending on your speed of the machine, this process may take from few seconds to few minutes. Okay, the project is created. Now let's go ahead and build the project. So right now what we have done so far is just build a brand new project using EcoBot template. And what we are doing next is just running that just trying to build that project on my machine. And this time I have used C#, but you can also use Node.js, or you can use Python, or you can use Java as well. And the build is successful. The next thing I will be doing is, without even writing any additional lines of the code, I will basically start running this bot locally on my machine. So for that, I will just start the bot in the debug mode. And while the bot is running locally on my machine, we can use a bot emulator to test the bot. All right, the bot is now running locally on my machine and on the port 3978. And if you scroll down on this page will give you the exact same information that we discussed before, like how to build a bot, like what we need to do. Like we need to start with planning, then we need to build, test, publish, connect, and evaluate. Now let's use emulator. You can download the emulator from here, or you can also install from other sources. So this is the emulator we have. The next thing I will be doing is I will be opening the bot. So let's click on open, and this is going to be the URL that we are looking for, where the local host where it's running, and then the Microsoft App ID, Microsoft App password, direct line speech region, and direct line speech key are optional. So let's click connect. And if everything is fine, then we should be seeing the messages in the right hand section of the bot. So let's type some a message, and since it's this template is for the echo bot, whatever we type, the bot will just respond back the same characters. So here I will be typing hello. So if everything is working fine, the bot should respond back with the same characters, and you can see the messages are getting exchanged between the emulator and our bot. and you can also add the breakpoints in your code. So this is the quick and easy way to test the bot, to start developing the bot locally and test it. But one thing you will notice is, so I use the template, which is Ego bot template, and I created this bot, and all this bot is doing, whatever characters we are typing, the same response is coming back. So basically, this bot is a dumb bot. Like it's just doing something very, very trivial. And now, if you would like to create an intelligent bot, the next steps we need to do is we need to infuse some AI services into it, so that bot will have the same kind of human edge we would like it to have. Now, to add human edge to our bot, what we need to do is we need to integrate our bot with AI services. And the best way to do in Microsoft ecosystem is we integrate the cognitive services, which are nothing but AI as a service from Microsoft with our bot. Now let's let me give you like maybe 2 minute overview of what cognitive services are. Cognitive services are nothing but a REST based APIs, and all you need to consume the cognitive services API, cognitive services in your application is you just need the API endpoint, and you just need a subscription key. Using the combination of two, you can start infusing intelligence in your application. And cognitive services are flexible. You can use cognitive services in any platform of your choice, provided that platform or that language allows you to consume REST-based API. There is a really good documentation available regarding the cognitive services on GitHub. You can also post questions on Stack Overflow. And if anything is missing, any feature is missing, you can also request that via user voice. So when it comes to the bot development, so cognitive services are used, there are many services available, but when it comes to the development of bots, these 7 services you will be using the most. Number one, for the first one is Language Understanding Intelligence Service, or the short form is LOIS. Then there is Azure Search, then there's a Q&A Maker, Bing Speech API, Speaker Recognition API, Translator, Custom Speech Service. So it will not be possible for me to cover each and every cognitive service in this particular talk because of time limitation. But what I will be doing is I will be quickly showing you a demo of how easy it is to create an intelligent bot using the combination of Q&A Maker service, which is a service inside cognitive service, and Microsoft Bot Framework. So let's dive into the demo of it. So use your favorite browser and use your favorite search engine, and just search for Microsoft Q&A Maker, and the URL that we are looking for is this one, qnamaker.ai, and just click on it. And you can sign up for Q&A Maker for free, or you can sign up using your Azure subscription as well. My recommendation is, if you have Azure subscription, then just sign in with the same account. The way Q&A Maker work is we can create a knowledge base, and that knowledge base can be a brand new knowledge base, or we can also reuse a lot of the contents that are already there. So in this case, what I'll be doing is I will be quickly curating some pre-existing contents regarding this existing COVID-19 pandemic, gather that information, and then expose that information via a bot, so that the team members from my company can they will have a way to find information related to the COVID-19 pandemic via a bot. So first thing first, what I will be doing is, after I sign in, I will be clicking on this link on the top called Create a Knowledge Base. And then here we have step-by-step, we have the detailed like step-by-step procedure we need to follow, where the step number 1 is we need to create a Q&A service. And one thing you have to keep in mind is both to use Q&A Maker, you need to have a valid subscription to Azure. So now I'm getting redirected to the Azure, and in the Azure I will be quickly creating the Q&A Maker service. Now here I will be like using providing the details like what should be the subscription name, what should be the resource group. So I'll be using the AI. Then what should be the name of this one. So the name I will be giving here is uh, my COVID-19 Q&A service. As long as that name is available, I should be able to use that. Yep, looks like it is available. Then the pricing tier. So by default, you can only consume one free tier per subscription. So what I'll be doing is I'll be just quickly changing the subscription because it looks like I already created a free service. But you can also you like create a paid service as paid one as well, which is a standard S0, and the charges are $10 per month for unlimited documents, 3 transaction per second and 100 transaction per minute. But I will be going with the free tier for the because we'll quickly doing a proof of concept here. And then Azure search location. So the search location should be the same where majority of your users will be. So I am from the East Coast of USA, so I'll be using East Coast US. And again, just like the Q&A maker service, we can also pick and choose what kind of Azure search pricing tier we would like to use. So I will be going with the free tier. And then what will be the name of the app? Again, it will be uh, pre-populated with the name that we will be giving to the service. Then the website location, again, it should be the same where your Azure search location and other assets will be located. And then whether you would like to integrate application insights or not. And again, if you are using application insight, try to have all your assets within the same region. The next step I will be doing is click on review and create, and everything looks good. Now I will be just click this button called create, and within a couple of minutes this Q&A maker service will be created for us. So the first step in the creation is validation, and once everything is validated, the service should be available within a few minutes. Okay, the service is created, so we can quickly go to resource and check it out. But in our case, we don't need to do that. So what I'll be doing is I'll be going back to the previous page where we were about to create a knowledge base. So step one is done. We created the Q&A maker service. The next thing we need to do is we need to connect that Q&A maker service to this knowledge base. So here again, you will get a drop down where you have to select Microsoft Azure directory ID. And if you are not familiar with what's the directory ID for your tenant, you can quickly open the Azure portal and quickly go to Azure Active Directory. And once you open that, there you will be seeing the default name of your directory there. So click on the Azure Active Directory here, and then once it's loaded, we should be able to see the default name of the directory. So this is our default name. This is our primary domain. So let's go back to the previous page where we're creating Q&A maker service. So that's the default directory. Then if you have multiple subscription under same account, then that will get listed. Then select the subscription where you have created the Q&A maker service. And then once you select the right subscription, and if you expand this drop down, if you don't see the Q&A maker service we just created, just click on this refresh button, and that should fetch the latest information. And let's expand this real quick. So we'll be seeing the Q&A maker service we just created, and then select the language. If you see here right now, when it comes to chit chat and extraction, like major 8 to 9 languages are supported, and if you just want to have extraction, then a few additional languages are supported here. So since majority of the people who will be viewing this speak English, so I'll be going with the English language. And then the third step is you have to name your knowledge base. So I'll be calling it as COVID-19 KB in November 2020. And step four, which is the most important step, is then we have to specify how we are going to populate this knowledge base. Now you have multiple options here. If you already have existing knowledge base in, let's say, in the form of web pages, in the form of Word document or PDF or Excel file, then we can reuse that information. And so we can either directly add the URLs, or we can download the file on our machine and then upload those files. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind is if you are using a URL, that URL needs to be accessible from Azure. If the URL is behind your firewall, then you have to work with your infrastructure team so that Azure can reach back to that particular URL. So in this case, what I would like to do is I would like to quickly create FAQs based on FAQs on the COVID-19, and that information should come from the government website. And in US, the government agency for that is CDS, CDC. So I'll be searching for CDC COVID-19 FAQs, and this is the page I was looking for. So in United States, cdc.gov is a site where uh, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention have all their information about COVID-19. And on this page, we have all the information available as part of the FAQs. How can be the spread will be there, how can we prevent that, the children information, preparation of outbreak symptoms. So I'll be just quickly copying this URL and going to the Q&A maker, enter this URL here. And the next thing is I will be selecting the chit chat persona. So now you can specify the persona depending on what kind of audience that you will be exposing your knowledge base to. So in this case, I will be using Witty because I just want to have this knowledge base some witty answers in case information is not available for any specific question. And once that is done, just click on create knowledge base. Now, depending on how much content are there on this page, the target page, this operation may take up to few minutes. In my experience, like for a page like the CDC FAQs, COVID-19 FAQs, it takes 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, the knowledge base is created within 2 minutes, and you will see there are a lot of question answers already there, and the way the Q&A maker service gathered this is via scanning the pages and then listing the information via question answer format. And once it is generated, we can also go ahead and edit each and every question and corresponding answer. We can also add follow-up prompts as well. And you see there, like there are multiple questions. If you browse towards the end of this, you will be seeing some additional questions that are not available on the CDC site. For example, this one. So this question was not there on the CDC site. The reason this questions got added because the persona we selected. Since we selected witty persona, then the Q&A maker added some additional questions and with some witty answers to that. So once it is there, the next thing we had to do is click on this button called Save and Train. And this will the Q&A maker service will then use this knowledge base and then train it. Once that is done, we can quickly test this knowledge base inside the Q&A maker. So here I will be just typing what is COVID-19. If there is a corresponding information available, then this Q&A maker service will give us that information back. So looks like this service is working as expected. The next thing I will be doing is I'll be clicking this on publish and then publishing this knowledge base. Again, this operation may take 1 to 2 minutes. Once the information is published, once this Q&A maker service is published, we can directly make call to this Q&A maker service using Postman and curl. So this will tell you that so far we haven't created the bot yet. Only thing we created is Q&A maker service, and we can still consume this service using the REST APIs. And let's say if you're writing a app and you want to quickly use this information that is there in the Q&A maker service, you can make the API you can make the REST-based API calls, and this will be the endpoint. Then this will be the authorization key, and this is the format you will be sending your request, where you will posting question, and if the answer is there, then the response will come back. Now, but what we are interested is basically creating a bot which will be using this Q&A maker service. So here you will see this button, create a bot. Let's click on that, and now we will be get redirect to the Azure portal, where we will be quickly creating the bot. Here in the Azure portal, a lot of information will be pre-built, predefined, like the bot handle, the subscription, the resource group, the location. The pricing tier by default will be S1, but we can also convert that to the free tier, which is F0. Then the app name. Now this will give you the clue. The point I made earlier is a bot is nothing but a website or a web app with a different kind of URL, a different kind of user interface. So when we will deploy this bot will be deployed with this particular URL. Then the SDK language, I will be going with the C Sharp. Then the Q&A auth key is already pre-built here. And then application insight is selected, and I will be using the same location where the rest of the assets are. And I will just click create here. The next thing it will do is it will basically validate everything, and then it will start deploying the bot. And again, this operation may take 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, the bot is deployed. Now let's go let's go to it and see see the bot in the Azure portal. So first thing I'll be doing is I will be testing this bot in the Azure portal itself by clicking the button test in web chat. And let's type a question. What is COVID-19? And if everything is fine, then we should get the response back from the knowledge base. So looks like the bot is working fine so far. The next thing I would like to show you is let's click on the channels here. So by default, whenever you deploy a bot, the bot is deployed to as a web chat, and then we can add additional channels as well. So if you scroll down here, you will see the more channels, like we can we can deploy this bot to the Teams, to the Alexa, GroupMe, Slack, Kik, Telegram, Twilio, email, Facebook, and Skype. What I'll be doing next is I will be just quickly deploying this bot to the Microsoft Teams. And then it is asking what kind of tenant the Microsoft team is hosted, whether it's in the commercial or government. My tenant is in commercial, so let's select that and save, and then let's agree to the terms of service. Okay, the information is saved. Now let's go back to the channels again. And here we'll be seeing that the bot is now available to the Microsoft Teams as well. So you see, within few button clicks, once the bot is there, we can deploy that to multiple channels. But so far we haven't written a single line of code, and still our bot is there and it's working. And so far we tested the bot in Azure portal itself. What if I would like to test this bot outside of the Azure portal? So then what we need to do is, depending on what kind of channel you would like to test, you can click on get bot embed codes here. And then you can by default the first sim is selected as a Teams code, but you can also select the web chat. And once you select the web chat, all you need is so the location of the bot will be there in the form of iframe, where you just need to provide the secret key, one of the secret keys, and then your bot will be loaded as iframe, or you can also load in a separate tab as well. So here I quickly copied the URL of the bot and added the secret key. And if I paste this URL into a tab, then the bot should load in this web page, and I should be able to test this bot here. So let's type hello, and what is COVID-19? And if the bot is working fine, we should get the information back. So the bot is working as expected, and we are just testing that as uh, a- as as a web application here. So the next thing I want to show you here is, so far we haven't written a single line of code. Now what if we would like to do some changes in the bot? So for that, click on the build option here and click on this button, download bot source code. So what will happen is, now the Azure will generate the source code that it has used to create this bot, and that source code will be available to us in the form of zip file. Okay, the zip file is ready for download. Let's click on download bot source code. The source code is downloaded on my machine and I unzip the project. And depending on what kind of language I use for SDK, whether it's a C# or Node.js, then I will be using corresponding editor, and then we'll open this bot and then start making changes in it. Now I can run this bot locally as well on my machine and test this out using emulator. Now here I added the same bot into a SharePoint page. As I mentioned, we can expose this bot by a variety of method. Here, while adding that, I added that as a just a reference to an external page. And if everything is working fine, then bot should give us the same kind of information that we saw during the testing phase. If everything is working fine, we should get response back from the information that is there in the knowledge base. Perfect, it's working as expected. The same bot I can also test in Microsoft Team, or I can use in Microsoft Team as well. So let's start the conversation. And here, instead of asking the question, I will ask some random question, and just to see like whether bot is able to handle that. So I'm just asking the bot, what is your name? And this time, if everything is working fine, it should come back with some witty answer because the persona we selected is witty. So what happens is, if the corresponding answer is not there in the knowledge base, or if the bot is not able to make out comprehend the question, it will use one of the answers from based on the persona and give us that back. So that was a quick demo of how easy it is to create intelligent bots using one of the cognitive service, and then use that along with Microsoft bot service and create working bot within few minutes. So what are some of the practical applications we can do? We can create bots to support in-house help desk, which is one of the most common scenarios that we have seen. We can use the bots to for room booking system, for meeting booking system, for intelligent search, for recommendation engine as well. One thing I want to highlight here is, I know we talk about Dataverse for Microsoft Team, and we can use that to create bots for free as long as we have license for Microsoft Teams. So if you're not familiar, there is a really good program for Microsoft called Microsoft 365 Developer Program. If you sign up for that, you get your personal Microsoft 365 E5 subscription for free, and that subscription is valid for 90 days. It comes with 25 users, and that is a full-blown subscription with Power Apps, with Power Automate, with Microsoft Teams as well. That means you can also use Power Virtual Agents for free along with the subscription. It's a really good way for the self development, and you will be having the admin access, and you can also sign up for a 1-month trial. These are various ways you can get the Azure subscription, because to use cognitive services you need access to the Azure. So hopefully the contents we covered today made you excited about the cognitive services and bots, and you'll go home and play with it. And if you don't have access to Microsoft 365 Developer Program, use this link and get your personal tenant. So these are the things we covered today, and these are the references I have used. So with that, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you very much for listening. Stay safe and stay healthy. And these are my contact details. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions or any if you would like to know any follow-up information. And please provide the feedback. You can provide the feedback via event app, or you can directly email that to me. So with that, thank you very much for listening. Stay safe and stay healthy. Bye bye.